Hey guys, it's Christex. Now, obviously, if you're not in the COD community, you probably will have no idea of the whole skill-based matchmaking issue. But over the past few months, we all know, skill-based matchmaking continues and continues to get even stricter and stronger. Even to the point where the start of Season 6 for me has kind of been unplayable. And by unplayable, I mean very boring and frustrating. I'll have like times where I get like 2 games in a row where I get a 1 to 1.5 KD. And then the next 5 games are going to be anywhere between 0.5 to 0.9 KD. Now, obviously, we all know the reason that Activision employed skill-based matchmaking. And it's literally just as simple as money. You know, they love all their money. You know, they have to release a game every year, even if it's crap. But, you know, to spice things up, I've thought of a secret theory. Now, this theory, yes, it sounds very stupid, because it is completely made up nonsense. But I think it's kind of funny, so I'm going to broadcast my theory to anyone who's listening. So, the theory goes, Sledgehammer Games and Treyarch are secretly trying to warn us that Activision has indeed been corrupted. So, in Modern Warfare 3 campaign, we have 2 bad guys, or mainly 1. But we have Makarov and Milena. Now, Makarov basically just wants war. And then Milena just wants money. So I've come to a theory that Sledgehammer Games are warning us. And are secretly telling us that Makarov has corrupted Activision to start a war against the player base and also enforce communism, which basically is what skill-based matchmaking is, so everyone has equal KDs. And Milena has corrupted Activision to make as much money as possible, because she only cares about money. Now, I know that this sounds a bit far-fetched and bollocks, because it is. But there's more. This is where Treyarch steps in. Now, if you don't know, Black Ops 6, their entire marketing campaign is The Truth Lies. Now, what do we know from Activision? Whenever they try to speak about truth, about skill-based matchmaking and engagement-optimized matchmaking, they always lie. Therefore, Treyarch are also trying to warn us about Makarov and Milena. So, now that I've got my absolute nonsense story out of the way, just for entertainment purposes, let's talk about the facts. So, obviously probably a few months ago now, Activision released a whole white paper about skill-based matchmaking, and apparently they did a test where they disabled skill-based matchmaking for 2 weeks for 50% of the NA servers. I think that's right, please correct me if I'm wrong. And they came up with this graph. Now, this epic graph shows that people in lower skill brackets didn't return to the game as much within the next 2 weeks. And that the lowest was for 0.2 skill bracket, but please tell me, do we really care about this data when we're talking about 2% of the player base not returning? 2%. Let's say COD gets 100,000 concurrent players. And let's just talk about Steam, because we know COD gets a lot more than 100,000 concurrent players. That's literally 2,000 players who don't return after 2 weeks. And also, that doesn't necessarily correlate to skill-based matchmaking, because we do know that the longer a season goes on, the less people end up playing, because obviously people need more content to play. So, at the end of the day, this graph is complete bollocks. But guess what? There's another graph. The next graph shows the increase in quit rates. This is when people just quit games because they get destroyed. Now, obviously, the very low skill brackets are guaranteed to quit more, because they're the protected brackets that contain all the little Timmies. And of course, the top bracket is bound to have a lower crit rate because they're not being matched with similar skilled players and they actually have better matchmaking. But I want to point out the middle skill brackets because the quit rate didn't increase by that much. And as well as that, right, if you remove skill-based matchmaking, majority of people are in the middle-ish brackets. And most of those people know skill-based matchmaking exists. Meaning, when they get bad games, they leave because they know it's for skill-based matchmaking giving them bad games. So, if you go and remove skill-based matchmaking, they're guaranteed to have an increased quit rate when they're playing higher skill players. But obviously, they don't know it's been removed, so they still believe they're in skill-based matchmaking lobbies. So basically, Activision is dumb because they've tried to defend their point with data, even though the data they have, they've socially engineered over the past 6 years because of the dumb stuff they've done. Now, I also want to point out, this test was only done in North American servers, meaning the data they have only equivalates to North America. Meaning, we don't know if the data... They're basically just assuming the same will happen in every other region, because they're forgetting. You have South America, you have Oceania, you have Asia, and then you have Europe. Europe is probably a similar size to North America, player base wise. But they're just completely ignoring it because Activision are lazy, and they know the data won't help them out. So, at the end of the day, we've learned that Makarov is trying to turn the entire Call of Duty community to communists. Milena is trying to steal all our money. And Activision continues to chat bollocks. Now, thank you for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed yourselves. Please do let me know if you enjoyed the video in the comments. Currently, I've been experimenting with kind of different video styles. You know, I've experimented with Jev style, experimented with Rocket Powered Mohawk style. And I'm just trying to, like, find a little niche. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Honestly, it really does help the channel out, and I appreciate everyone who does. Obviously, it's absolutely amazing seeing the support we get sometimes. And don't forget to go check out the other socials, especially the Twitter and Twitch. I'm normally quite active on Twitter and Twitch. Most of the time I stream on the weekends. Now, with all that being said, I've been Chris Dex. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.